hopefully that you'll come away on your deathbed and look at back on your life and not think that you wasted your time. Because there will be moments when you will think back at films and things that you did with your time and you'll question it. Now, I want to personally thank Vamana for taking the time without really making, I mean, you had no idea what you were getting into. And so therefore, to give us that time, and I know that you're very busy, the last thing they have to do here is talk about, you know, a television show. And yet, the most important thing I've ever done with the art form is this program. It's allowed you and everyone in this room to think about the problems and to think about them. And Ron, you hit it. You hit a grand slam. You talk about dialogue. What made this show incredible was the fact that the writers wrote an incredible story guided by Ron Moore and David Icke. They created this. They created something that they gave to us, the production, the set designer, the production designer, the costume designer, the camera department, the actors, the director, took it to a level that surprised the writer. It augmented the material. And then we gave it, all of these elements, to the editing and post-production. And post-production took it to an extraordinary higher level and gave us thoughts that we had no idea that we could do because we had not seen the images that we had created. We had not tried to put them together. We had not tried to tell the story in respects of editing every single second. Then we put it on the air, and the advent of technology at the highest level of understanding took hold. The entire planet started to blog these guys. And they started to talk with them, and all the writers started to write and listen to the bloggings and started to comment on the bloggings. And the bloggers were going, they took it to a level that was immensely further than we had ever intended. They took us to a place where we had no idea that we had opened that box. Dialogue, reconciliation occurred at that precise moment. We had to give up our ownership and take into consideration and reconcile our ego and our sense of, you know, we're the ones who created this, and allowed them to give us. Then they went back, the writers went back to the drawing board for the second season and took all of what they'd learned through that first season and threw it in there with the augmentation of what happened with the blogging. And then the process started again, and it got worse. People started to understand what they were doing. And so therefore, pretty soon, it was a direct line between all of us talking about all of us in a medium that had never undergone this type of advancement in the history of this medium ever. Television had never been done like this. I don't know I don't know if Ron and David have it in them to do another one. Because you're lucky if you get one. You're lucky if you get one. And for sci-fi, for them and Bonnie, and for David, and for all of the incredible production executives that we had that allowed us to do this and make it as dark as we did. They understand what they've done, and I think they have. I think it started when we got the Peabody. And now, with this, blowing them away. This has destroyed all their thoughts and have made them understand what they've done.
So it was a good experience.
Oh, it was brilliant. It was one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life.
So, I'm sorry, I had to, I'm sorry.
Lighten it up a little. Go for it.
That's why I wanted him to go first. I very simply hope, I think what the show, when you scrape everything away, what you're finally left with are two things. One is the idea of patience being the essential element to evolution, and two, the idea of forgiveness being the necessary action in order to break the cycle of violence and begin to create the dialogue. And I do think that the show, over and over and over again, brought those two ideas to light. And I think that that's where we all feel honored. We feel honored to have participated in such profound simplicity towards disciplines which are really difficult to practice, but clearly where we need to go. So that's what I hope you can take a look at in viewing Battlestar Galactica. And I personally would like to thank the UN for this, because this is an extraordinary opportunity for artists to be able to connect themselves to the world, because it's the whole point of what we do. It's what drives our passion. And I would also like to thank Madame Goldberg for bringing her incredible commitment to the show, her intelligence and her grace to this situation. Thank you.
Here's my two cents. Here's what BSG has done for me. One of the things is you never know who you're talking to, so a modicum of respect to all you meet. That's what I learned. Because you don't know who the Cylons are, you don't know who the humans are. So, you know, try to be respectful of whoever the person is that you meet, and it might work out for you. And I thank God for the word frack. I must say that this is a word I have dropped once or twice on The View. Nobody knew what I'd said. So I find that encouraging.
Yeah.
I may frack myself all the way after this. Thank you to the UN Department of Public Information and the SCI, the Sci-Fi Channel. Oh my God. These are the dialogues that we'll be having every day and should be having every day. And I guess it's really through understanding and conversation that we can actually achieve the common goal, which is really just to be the best people we can be at all times. Sometimes, you know, you're flawed. You're not perfect. And that's what we saw. We saw people who were good people making really ugly choices. This happens every day. It happens to diplomats. It happens to actors. It happens to photographers. It happens to everybody. So we must just sort of be vigilant when we see that we've stepped in it. Step back, step out of it, and then move forward again. Thank you for coming today. Oh, yes. Oh, wait. Sorry. I'm terribly sorry. There are nice treats in another room through that door. If you'd like to join us, we'll all be in there.